All right, so I just wanted to, I'm doing these labs for chapter 10, the containers, right? So configuring web services and cloud technologies. And I just thought, you know what I will do as I did the labs, I would just record and kind of walk you through my process in my brain as I go through this, all right? And understand that these aren't planned, so I didn't try these out, so we run into errors. We're going to run into errors like you would normally run into errors. So I don't want there to be any confusion on that. I'm just going to sit down and do the lab and see what happens. Okay. So what they want for this project is they want our typical lab, right? Which in our case we don't have VMs, and then on you know, or we don't have a server with Hyper-V running with a VM underneath that. So we use different servers. Typically, the way I'm understanding this is, if they're asking for this primary server here, that's typically going to be your server that has the domain controller on it. And if they're asking for the VM2, this one down here, then that one will be the server that is not the domain controller. All right. So with that in mind, we're going to get started with this chapter here. So configuring IIS. So if I can, let me see if I can do this. So I'm going to see if I can split these screens and see if this will work. So we're going to boot our server, log into domain X. There you go. Then we're going to click on Hyper-V and fire up the VM. So that's what I've done here. Instead of using one of my domain controllers for this assignment, I'm going to use one of my member servers. So SA1-2 is going to be the server that I'm running. Probably should go ahead and get Server Manager fired up real fast. All right. So then, because yeah, we're going to need to go and add roles and features right away. Okay, so I'll get rid of this. And I'm curious, I want to see, yeah, see I don't have the Active Directory stuff on this machine. So that's why I'm choosing this machine. All right, so this is SA1-2. It's part of my subnet 1 domain, right? And that subnet is called, or that domain is called kbruce. And then I have my domain X as my second subnet domain. So this is off of SA1, running off of the primary subnet domain. So we want to add roles and features. So manage, add roles and features, and so let's skip that from default going forward. Next, it's going to be role based. And then we're going to do it on this particular server, and they want us to choose web server IIS. So web server IIS. I know the graphics on my side are pretty crappy right now, so I know it's hard to see that, but web server is what I'm choosing, and we're going to go ahead and add the features that are needed for that to work. Right? Add features. Select features page. Click next, and then at this place here, we're going to click next. And we're going to get, I don't think we need to add anything here on the feature page, right? Trying to make sure. Doesn't look like it, right? So it says, I don't see anything there. And I don't see anything down here. Yeah, so we're good. I'm just going to click next. Most of the time it's just next, 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 and install. Let's go ahead and install. After the installation process, click close. All right, so once it's done, we'll click close. I'm going to let that go while we look at the rest of the next set of instructions. So in the Server Manager, select Tools, Internet Information Services Manager. So we'll have to wait till that's done, and then we'll be able to see this. I don't know that it needs, it may not need a restart. It doesn't say up here that it needs a restart, so I'm not sure, but we'll see. So when we get in there, we're going to get into some authentication, some other stuff. So we just got to wait for this process to finish real fast. So this gives you a chance to catch up. Essentially, you're going to go through roles and features. It's all next until you select the web server. You're going to add the features. You're going to say yes. That's going to be a next as well. Next, 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 next. Install. And then you let it install. And then we should be ready to go with the next piece. All right, so I paused the video while it finished the installation. It took another couple minutes, not a big deal, but I didn't want you guys to sit and watch it go. So it says right here, installation succeeded. So I'm going to click close. And just out of curiosity, installation succeeded. I think we're good, right? So it doesn't really give us any tasks. It's not a yellow issue, so that looks like it's fine. Let's see if this works. So we're going to go to Tools, and we should say Internet Information Services Managers right there. And we scroll down a little bit. Highlight authentication in the features view. So we make this bigger. Wow, it's hard to read that. I'm going to make it bigger so I can actually see what's going on. And right, it's asking me to find highlight authentication in the features. Are you seeing that? I'm not seeing that anywhere. Interesting. All right. So I need to figure out what I'm missing. I wonder if I need to highlight the server. So that's, I think, what I needed to do. If I come back over here, click Internet Information Server, note the web server features view pane for your server. So it didn't, mine didn't automatically do that, right? So I had to get to the features page. So I selected my, right, and you can see here I've got my features page, and it wants me to select authentication. And now I've got this big, double screen thing going on. So bring it back down to there. All right, so then highlight it and then click Open Feature. So over here on the right, Open Feature. Note the anonymous authentication for internet. Okay, so anonymous authentication is enabled. Okay. Okay, so they just wanted us to look at that. Great. Click back, click on default document. So I double click that. I guess I should have opened the feature, but double clicking opens the feature, it looks like. So if I go back one more, I highlight it once and I click open feature, I should get the same thing. So it's showing me feature, note the file names, right? So the file names are here, default.htm, default.asp, index.htm, index.html, and it looks like isstart. I need to make that bigger. Again, to see it. iisstart.htm. Fair enough. So this just wants us to check those out, and then we're going to go back on the title bar and highlight logging. So again, we're just kind of looking through these things. Here's logging. I double clicked on logging. They wanted us to open it. That's the same thing. Note that one log is configured on each website. Right, so I think what they want us to see is if we come down here, that there's a log file. Come here. So the start page. Oops, I've got to go down. So application pool, sites, default site. Go to logging. Right, so this showing us here the log files are here, and we're log file. It's a log file only. It's a daily log, so no big deal. I mean, just having us look through and understand that we've got logging going on our server. Okay, and it's kind of telling you where it's going to be, and you can see it matches right here. All right, and so click on back on this, and they want us to now go to the server certificates. Let me actually get back to the server itself. So there should be server certificates here. So here's server certificates. I double clicked on that. Right, you'll see that no HTTP certificates are configured by default, right? So it doesn't have HTTP turned on or functioning to start with. So they want us to create a self-signed certificate. All right, so let's see what happens. There's create certificate. Which kind do we want? Create self-signed certificate. Create self-signed certificate. Here's a self-signed certificate. Specify a friendly name. So they just want us to type in the server there. Let's just type in SA1-2. And then actually I'm going to do this. So I'll just do server SA-1-2. And do we need to change this personal to something different? Select web hosting. So the typer certificate, web hosting. All right. And simply click OK at that point. Let's see what happens there. So I'm wondering, because we don't have certificate services running, well, it looks like it's just going to generate one on its own. And maybe that's a part of the installation of the IIS. All right, enable sites in the connections pane and highlight the default website. So we're going to click bindings in the action page. So we need to figure, I'm going to reset these real quick. So that one and this one. And expand sites in the connection page and highlight the default website. So we're going to highlight the default website in the sites section. And then we're going to click on bindings. No, we're not. There we are over here. Edit site. So click bindings in the action page. At the site bindings window, click add. So we're just going to add here. And we're going to add select HTTPS. So we're going to select HTTPS. And it gives me 443. And next type the FQ in, so your host name, right? So I'm going to do the same thing I did a minute ago, server-SA1-2. And then type drop-down box, not the default port. Okay, good. Type that, right, in the host machine. Oh, and then right down here, the certificate we need to select is the one that we made earlier. Okay, and then we're going to click OK. So now we've got a binding that is allowing us to do HTTPS, and then it wants us to close that. Okay, highlight authentication again. Click open feature. Anonymous authentication. All right, so note that anonymous authentication is enabled, but ASP impersonation is disabled. Click the back button on the title bar. So, okay, they've done that to us twice now, just taking a look at it. Highlight the default document. So here's the default document. Click open feature. Note the file inherited. Yep, so we looked at those earlier, but we've inherited all those. Click the back button, create. Highlight Ssl settings. So I'm just going to double click on it. You can optionally require it for all connections, right? So right here, it's saying if you wanted to force SSL, then you would click this and it would force it. Okay. Note that you can optionally, so click open feature. So it's just having us look. It's not actually having us make any setting changes. Okay. And then the next one is view the virtual directories in the action pane. So view virtual directories over here. And next we're going to add a virtual directory. So click add. So click add virtual directory. And the alias, they want us to call it marketing app. And the physical path is going to be C:/marketing materials. All right, and we're going to click OK. I'm curious, is this the server that we have that on? We actually have that folder here, which is nice. All right. Okay. Click edit permissions. So then what do we want to do here? So click OK, and then right here, then they want us to click edit permissions while we're there. and click edit, click add. Let's try that again. Edit permissions. Highlight the security tab. I skipped that part. So highlight the security tab. Click edit. Click add. Type IUSR. IUSR. We're going to check names. Right, so it's there. So we're good. Click OK. And then it's given us read and execute. So it doesn't want us to change anything, we're just adding it. So type IUSR, click OK, click OK again, and then close the IIS manager. So we'll just go ahead and close this now. So we looked around, we created a certificate, we added a folder to the default website, and then we added permissions for the IUSR to connect. All right, so what we want to do now from the same page is we're going to go, we just wanted to go start run, right? So start run. I don't want to do that. What am I doing? I'm being silly. So right click, run. And then we just want to bring up Notepad. And we're going to create some text, right? So in a Notepad, type all this stuff. That didn't work at all. So we're just going to type. Let's see. Open. I gotta find them on my wife's keyboard here. So open HTML. Close. Open body. Close. Open H1 for heading 1. Close. And then we're going to type the word sample web page. This is what actually is going to be presented on the screen. And then we're going to open, and then we're going to end H1 with that /, and then we're going to open and end the body, and then we're going to open and end HTML. All right, so this should actually create a page where it says sample web page in the H1 format, all right, with whatever heading 1, whatever format that is of the actual lettering. Right, so then we're going to file, and we're going to save as, and we need to put this in marketing materials, right? So we got to put it in that folder that we had told the website to use, and then we're going to call it index.htm, right? Because that's one of those files that it would open if it's for a web page. And I'm going to click save. Right? So then we're going to close Notepad. So what we did essentially was we created this file, we saved it as index.htm, and put it in the folder that the web page is pointed to. Right? So that means if I were to open up, oh wait, File Explorer, not Internet Explorer. So File Explorer, I gotta close this. It won't close. There we go. Okay, so File Explorer. It wants us to navigate to the :inetpub www root folder. All right. Note there's a default web page called IIS Start as well as associated IIS Start graphics close. So it's just telling us that those are there, right? So open and navigate to there. Note that there's a default web page. So you can see IIS Start HTML and IIS Start PNG, which is going to be the graphic that goes with it. So now they want us, and they want us to open this on a different server, right? So a different server. So let's just go back out here. I'm just going to go grab. So let's jump on. Let's get on a server that is part of this network, just so we don't have any DNS problems. So let's go to DC1. All right. So I'm logging into DC1 so that I can check back to this server. All right, so from this page here, we should just run, I need to run a browser. Let's just grab this browser here. And let's see if I can fire up like 6 of them. That'd be great. So here, and then we need to go to server SA1-2. Actually, we need to go HTTP : / and it wiped all that out when it did that to me. Okay, so let's try this again. HTTP : server -SA1-2 / marketing app. Wait. Oh, I'm not going to do the marketing app one yet, right? So that should hopefully see what happens. It should show us the, okay, can't reach this page, so we have a problem there. Note the default website displayed. I'm wondering if this is a, so did I name it that, first of all, and then second of all, does this server, like is there a DNS record for this server now, right? So if I come back over here, I want to look now. So I'm back on the SA1-2 server, and let's go to tools, and let's go to information, right? And then let's look at this page here. So with my default website, I'm going to make this big. Default documents. Open that feature. So index.html should have been fine. I think though, I'm curious now because I should have, if it, how does it know to get, oh, maybe I need to do that instead. So I wonder if that's the problem. Let's see if that's the problem. Right, so instead of server SA1, it should be, right, the name of my actual server, which is 2650 SA1-2. 2650. All right, so that's what that was going on. So I was actually using like the name that I had put together for that extra page, which I don't need to do. So this is the default page. So it's going to the server, right? HTTP. So because it's a web server, because this server is a web server, it will reply with the default page that we were expecting, right? That's what I was troubleshooting. Okay. All right. So that being the case, now they want us to go to the same place but use marketing app instead. So let's so there and marketing app, and now we have a problem, right? So we go HTTP /FQDN, right? Marketing app. Okay. So that one didn't work. I'm wondering if we add that H.S here. So site's not secure. More information, go to the web page. So we still can't find that web page. So I think I may have typed something in wrong, because this should be fine. So let's take a look and see if I did that. So if we go back to where we had added that, we got to figure that out now. So let's go back to the instructions. So there was a point where we needed to, and this is what happens when you don't practice ahead of time, right? So I think I typed something in wrong at some point. So right here, right? So highlight the SSL settings. So highlight SSL settings, open up SSL settings. So that's the require SSL, not requiring SSL. So that's not what I want. Let's go back a page. Let's make this a little bit bigger so everybody can see it at least somewhat. If I highlight that and I view virtual directories, that's what I'm trying to find. So here's, and did I call it the right? It looks like I called it the right thing. That's weird. All right, so there's something weird going on. So I did, so let's go. So then add virtual directory. So I just want to edit. How do we edit this? I don't want to. So defaults, so that's not going to help me. And I'm going to make this big so I can read it, make sure I didn't, like, did I mistype that /marketing app? I didn't mistype that. So there's something goofy going on now. So, okay. So it should have, what we should have gotten from this one, right, is if I type that in, it should have given me that. Did I type marketing app wrong? Marketing app looks fine. If I go back to the default, right, it gives me the default. Oh, now it's not giving me the default. Oh, HTTPS is not giving me the default there. So if I get rid of that and I go there, that's fine. And then marketing app. So we're testing this. We should have, that should have worked, right? And we can look at that right here. I've got marketing app, MARKETING APP, and it's pointing to C:\marketing materials. And I'm going to double check on my computer here, C:\marketing materials, and I should have an index.html file, right? So that's that file that we created earlier. So we should be okay. So that should work. Why is it not working? Oh, now it does work. I don't understand that at all. So a minute ago it didn't work, right? So now it does. That's weird. And then let's see if S works. Right, so S. So there's something wrong with the encryption component of this. Right, so that we're supposed to be able to do this with both regular HTTP, right, which gives me the sample web page, and you should have seen it with, let's see if there's something else that we're missing. All right, so I got it working, right? So I've got my marketing app page, I've got my regular page, I got the sample page. If you go to the default, you see the default IIS page. So that's good. What's not working is the so right here, right, this piece right here is not working. So I'm curious now, like, so why, even though we created it, it says file not found, even though it's there. So navigate here. RevQN is your server. If the warning appears regarding the self-signed HTTPS certificate, follow the prompts to proceed to the website. Note that the default IIS webpage displayed from the so it doesn't, so why? Oh, wait a second. I'm not supposed to put marketing app on the end of that right there. So this is actually, they just want us to, if we go to here, right? That should have actually given us a page, and it didn't give us a page. So I've got something wrong in my config for my my SSL. So this right here, highlight this. That was highlighting it. We and we bound it here. So we set it up right there. Okay, so let's go back to that and see what I did. I don't think I did anything wrong, but we'll see. So let's go back to the main server, and they want us to go to server certificates and open that feature. So it's on the other side of the page here. And here's the certificate that we have. Let's just view this real quick. 2650 SA1-2. So it should be fine. That's what I've been typing in up here, right? 2650. I don't know. I don't think it requires capitals, but maybe. Nope. So the capitals aren't the problem. And it goes to lowercase when I do that anyway. All right, so that's still not the issue. So we got a certificate here. It was created. It's created for server SA-1. That's the name of it. I wonder if we need to try to go to that. Let's try that. See if that's the problem. I don't think that is, but so instead of 2650 SA1, we call it server SA1-2. Oh, that might be the problem. Look at that. Nope. Can't reach this page. Let's get rid of that. So https :// 2650 SA1-2. That should work. I'm not sure why it's not working. In lieu of that, server -SA1-2. And that also gives me the error. So now we still there's still some issue. All right, so let's see what else is going on. All right, so issued to this, issued by this, right? So it's just a self-signed certificate. It should just give us a problem, right? It shouldn't be any. We can try to do a new one. Let's do a new one. Let's just create a new self-signed certificate. So let's do create a self-signed certificate. Let's make it simple, right? Server, and it's a website certificate or a web hosting certificate, and we got it called server. Okay, so then let's go back to expand sites, right? So then expand sites and highlight the default site, and on there we want to go over to bindings, right? And you can see we have it right there. It's bound right there. Let's go ahead and remove that one, and then let's add a new one, and we're going to add HTTPS. And I wonder if they want us, I think we're just going to do all unassigned, right? I don't think there was a, so add the bindings, select HTTP from the type drop-down box, and note the default port of 443. Next, type the FQN of your virtual machine in the host. Okay, so let's do this host name. So let's match the host name 2650 SA1-2. Okay, and I don't think it wanted us to do anything else. So we're going to type that in. Select your self-signed certificate from the box down below. So is there any other checkboxes we're supposed to do? I don't see it. I see next. Type in that name and then select the self-signed certificate. So then we're just going to select the server certificate that we just created. And I guess select, and OK, and OK. So we've got it there, and I think we just got to close, right? That was all we're supposed to do. Highlight authentication. So, and again, they're just double checking. Like if we go authentication and we open the feature, we can see anonymous is enabled, ASP impersonation is disabled. That was all they were asking us to do. All right, so this should work. Not sure why it's not working. All right, so we go back over here and we want to go to http://2650. We're going to do non-encrypted first. That should give us the web page. Great. That's what. So we should, if we add the S, we should get the same thing. Site is not secure. Go to the website anyways. Oh yeah, I got it working. Okay, so I did something goofy on that first one. So there's something wrong. I think it was in the way I named it or the way we were typing it in. Something weird there. Anyways, so yeah, so that took a little bit longer than we had hoped for. But that looks to be, let's double check and make sure. All right, so we created the web page. We're double checking some stuff. So last couple things here. Let's see. In Server Manager, right? Select Host, select Tools. All right. So we're going to go back we're going to go back to the web page. So I'm already in the tool, right? So I'm already in the tool, but they want us to be highlight application pools. So we're going to highlight application pools here. In the connection pane and note the 4 separate application pools that are configured. Do you see 4? I see 1. Or are we supposed to look in here? Highlight that. No. Highlight application pools in the connection pane. That's there. And note the 4 separate application pools. I see 1 application pool. Are we supposed to see 4? I see version 4, but I do not see 4 application pools. All right, so there's something off here now. So we did this, double checked all those. That's good. We closed the web browser. We're on this other machine over here. In Server Manager on the host. So on the host that we're using, right? Because that's the only one that has IIS in it. It's got to be that. Note the web server shown for your server in the features. Okay. I'm going to go back here for a second because it says, right, it's over here like you should be able to. I don't believe them. I want to see it though. So we shouldn't have IIS on this one. Yeah, there's no IIS on this one. Okay, so the IIS is only on this primary box here, or the box that we built it on. So in that, select Tools, select Internet Information Server Manager, note the web server. Okay, then Application Pool, and note the 4 separate application pools are configured. I don't see 4 separate application pools, right? So that's an issue for me. Like, so what's causing that problem, right? And maybe that's part of our problem for why these other things aren't working. So I've seen lots of errors in Teams here lately. So let's see here. Highlight the application pool and note the 4 separate application pools are configured. Highlight the RD Web Access application pool and click. We don't even have that pool. Like, I don't have that pool. I've got a default app pool. If I open that up, there's nothing there. So do I have to add an application pool? Do I have to name it something? What's going on? Set application pool defaults, view applications. Is there some other thing I'm missing here? So there's some issue. There's a weird issue here. So highlight the application pools. They want us to go into RD Web Access application pool and click Advanced Settings from the action pane. Note that the CPU usage is not limited for the application pool because 0 is next to the limit percentage. Expand the sites in the connection pane, default website, note the printers. So we've got some notation that we're supposed to do here, and I'm trying to figure out why we're not actually doing anything, right? It just says note these things. But if we're missing an application pool, that's weird. I'm curious now. So RD. So just RD web access. How do you set this up? So I don't think I have it because I'm not running. Like I don't have that running on my machine, right? So that's probably what's going on. I wonder if you need to install those things in order for that to work, right? Possibly. We'll hold that off and see if that causes us problems in a future lab. But I don't know, because this one's just kind of looking. You're looking at it. And there's also this Internet Protocol printing protocol web app that we don't have running either. I have just a default app pool. All right, I'm gonna, at this point, like these two pieces, it's just you're gonna look at some stuff. I don't see it there. If it causes us problems in a future lab, then we will come back and visit it. But otherwise, I don't think we should beat on it any longer. All right, so we've got this working. We got the web page up and running. I can do HTTPS. I can do HTTP from a different box. I'm comfortable that it's set up. The basic setup is there. I'm not comfortable that these application pools are missing, but I think that goes beyond. That's beyond what we need right this second. So if it becomes a problem, then we'll revisit that in a future lab.